Keystone Mortgage. We have a couple things to talk about, and you're pretty hyped up for the, I think, the third year for Indian Relay here in Billings coming up in September.
Second year here in Billings. Yeah, next year will be the third. From what they keep telling us is that they want this to be the home for the championships.
They're trying to make that happen.
I
think it works, and we talked about that before, and I've talked to the organizer of that last year. That is his hope and dream as well.
Right, Gary?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a perfect area for it.
Well, it is. It's pretty centrally located. We can sustain the crowds. If Billings is big enough, we've got, they're putting new hotels up every time you turn around the corner. There's
a new
hotel.
I mean, like this week, they talk about the one in downtown Billings, that big conglomerate, 70,000 square foot. Did you hear about that?
I did.
The high rise and the shopping and offices and hotel.
Right. Kind of made me a little jealous that I'm not in my 20s anymore.
Yeah, I know, right.
It'd be a great place to live.
So is Keystone Mortgage a sponsor of Indian Relay this year?
Yes, we are. Yeah. We are for our second year running, and this year we'll actually have a booth down there, and they treat us well, with our sponsorship packages. They're such a generous organization, and it's a lot of fun to go and watch anyway.
Yeah, and I've missed out. I missed out on the one in Sheridan I was invited to a couple of years ago, and I missed out the one last year. And this year, if I go on Thursday the 22nd of September or the 23rd, which is Friday, I'll be okay because we're flying out to Kansas City on the 24th. So I almost will miss this year's too.
Well, you better go.
I know. I keep hearing that.
I have never seen one before, and
I've seen them on YouTube, and it's entertaining.
They are crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're crazy.
Don't ask me to do that.
No. No, I mean, looking at it, I'm on the edge of my seat like, don't fall off that horse.
Yeah, if they're skilled. If you have not seen Indian Relay and you keep hearing about it, then it would behoove you to log on and search it out. And you just search out Indian Relay, and a bunch of YouTubes come up. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool event.
Their core strength, just jumping from horse. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Thursday through Sunday here in Billings, it'll be at the grandstands.
Yes.
Which would be nice.
They're going to have a whole bunch of booths inside the grandstands up on the main floor.
It's like a little mini fair, it sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much. We'll have a booth there, and then from what I understand, that they've got other sponsors going to be there. I don't know so much about what the food is going to be because they do have a fantastic VIP section. If you can get it in on the VIP section, they've got these great tables, and their food is wonderful. I mean, we're not talking like go get your hot dog. They had steak last year.
Yeah, I bet they have Indian tacos.
Yeah, right, probably.
Yeah, I love Indian tacos. It's an art to make an Indian taco the proper way.
Right.
So has Belinda won the big award yet from the Reader's Poll yet?
I don't know. The Gazette has not released it yet.
Oh, okay.
I think from what I'm thinking, it's probably the 23rd. They're putting out a big spread in the newspaper of who's won. So we got our fingers crossed. We're hoping she did.
The voting's done, though.
Oh, yeah, voting's done.
Yeah, the voting's done. That's what I thought.
Yeah, we voted every single day. Every day.
Well, yeah, if that's what they allow, that's what we're going to do.
That's exactly what it is. They say vote once every day, so we voted once every day.
Laura Shocker with this Keystone Mortgage Downtown Billings buyer's class with Belinda coming up in a couple of weeks here.
Yes, Belinda does have a first-time home buyer's class. It is not the accredited class. This is your informational basic seminar. This gives you all the tips that you're going to need. I mean, some of these people will go to these first-time home buyers class to try to get the down payment assistance, and then they don't qualify, so they've wasted 8 hours. By doing this class with Belinda over at the Payne West building, Brett Arnold also sponsors it through Payne West, but they give you the start to finish. They give you the what you look for in your financing, what you need to get together for financing. Serena Anderson will be there for, the real estate in on it, what you're looking for in your home and all that other stuff. And then we've got, of course, Brett Arnold with Payne West, who will do insurance and what you want for your liabilities and your coverages and all that other stuff, and give you kind of a way to shop around and get your ducks in a row before you make that first initial jump.
See, and I've heard of these buyers classes, and I'm glad they're out there.
Yeah.
Because you guys do what you do every single day. We don't.
Right.
So that's what these are designed for.
Right, and they're purely informational. They play a lot of fun games. They give away prizes. Sometimes they bring food. It just kind of depends on the size of the class. You definitely want to reserve your spot because they do fill up pretty fast. And you can reserve them just by calling Keystone at 248-7124, and we can get you set in there for it.
Okay. And is there a limit on the class that's coming up, or?
That building is so fantastic.
I know,
There's plenty of room.
It's a good looking. Talk about nice looking buildings.
Right.
The Payne West building, yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, there's plenty of room. The class sizes are, we're not putting 100 people in a class.
Okay.
Usually around, 20, I believe, 20 or 30 is what they're putting in there. I actually have not been to one of those classes. I just read through what they
Mhm.
put together on them, and it's very
Yeah,
informational.
it's a good curriculum. I like
Well,
it.
it is.
Yeah.
It's, it's stuff that you wouldn't think to ask, stuff you wouldn't think to look into.
Yeah, it's things that we would understand too.
Right.
Layman's
right.
terms, so to speak.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. August 30th. Right? August 30th.
5:30.
Is that next week? No. Where am I at?
Week after. Well, yeah.
What? The 22nd is next Monday.
Okay, so the week after.
Yeah, the 30th. Tuesday, the 30th of August. What time at Payne West?
5:30.
5:30. Last hour and a half, 2 hours?
Right about an hour,
Ish?
hour and a half, yeah.
Was
Yeah,
it-
it's pretty quick and informational, and, a lot of fun.
You had me at prizes.
I know, right? They give away some good
They give me
stuff.
prizes.
They do. They
Yeah.
give away neat stuff. Let's see. One time they gave away like home candles, and then they give away gift certificates to like restaurants in town.
Oh, yeah,
and,
there you go.
I mean, they got quite the loot over there.
do they attract more women, men, or couples?
Actually, the last one that they did was a lot of couples. It was a lot of couples looking to go forward. One of them was newlywed, and then the other ones were in that stages of planning towards their future. So I
Mhm.
mean, it's
A wide array of demographics.
it really is, and it's a great way to go. Well, they also talk about all the programs that we've got available too. So I think, was it May's or was it June's? One of them, they really honed in on our VA program and on the rural development. Rural development actually has lowered their costs. So for a year, there's a special to get in on rural development.
See, we wouldn't have known this stuff without you on the radio.
No, and I totally forgot to bring information on it because it starts October 1st.
You could put it on your website, your Facebook page.
It's there.
Let's see. Always got us covered.
Yeah, it's there. I put it out a couple weeks ago because it goes effective October 1st. So there's a prepay amount that you pay with your rural development, which has been reduced dramatically, and then there's another fee associated with rural development that goes on to the loan that's part of the program itself, kind of like FHA will have like a
Mhm.
mortgage insurance program. Because rural development is no down payment, they do have a little bit of a fee assistance to make sure that you've got some sort of vested interest in that
Right.
property. But they've reduced them for a year.
Keystone Mortgage, Laura Shaka with this. Talk Loan Tracker, if you would, for us.
Oh, Loan Tracker is
Loan
the
Tracker.
best thing ever. We have a program where when you apply for a loan, with Keystone Mortgage, you can actually come into the back end and see exactly what process your loan is in, where it's at. You'll know if it's been locked on the interest rate. You'll know what day your appraisal's due back. You'll know everything. And then you can actually even send immediate messages, like a text message basically, to your loan officer if you've got an instant question, and they can respond right away. No matter the time of day, it automatically sends over to them.
Oh, wow.
Our real estate agents, they have a little portal for real estate agents on Loan Tracker as well. So our real estate agents, sometimes they get a call and they're like, well, what's the status of the loan? We're hearing, XYZ from our client, but, you told us ABC yesterday, so, where's it in the middle? And a lot of times it gets confusing.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Well, purchasing a home is very emotional.
Yeah, mhm.
It's a huge emotional investment aside from financial. So they can log in and then they can see exactly where everything is too. So they'll know, hey, they asked you for your 4506T. You better get in there and get that done, or you're going to delay your own closing.
We've purchased 2 homes in our lives, Carrie and I, and you're right, it's emotional. And I didn't have Loan Tracker when I was buying homes. I can see where that would be pretty cool.
Oh, it's way cool, and of course, we're the only ones that have it. So,
My question was, does every mortgage company have Loan Tracker?
no,
Only Keystone Mortgage?
only Keystone Mortgage.
God, I love it when you come in. It says, no, sorry, we've worked hard for it.
That's right. We go and we find that stuff. We're
Yeah,
tracking
I know,
everything down.
and-
We're looking for the
All for the consumer.
everything for the customer and everything that is I guess new and inventive, and make things easier and streamline it. We're going to find it. If it's there, we're going to find it. We're
Yeah.
working on an app right now where you can apply online through your app.
Wow. That was a secret, wasn't it?
Well, a little bit, not really.
Yeah, wow. You got people doing that stuff for you.
Well, yeah, because I can't.
The Keystone app, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I can do the marketing, that's fine, but don't ask me to do any of the technology kind of stuff.
So our show's on TuneIn, on an app on your smartphone, so it would be something like Keystone Mortgage app on your smartphones. And
Exactly. It'll be just like an
Wow.
app to go on your smartphone.
I need to get my own Livin Large Larry app, but I need somebody. Of course, Dustin here at Redline Computers can probably do that for me
I bet you he could.
in a heartbeat for a fee.
I'm
All right.
sure it would be not that big of a fee.
Let's speak of commercial lending. What's the
Commercial
would
lending.
think
Well,
we should
last year
know.
Keystone took on commercial lending, and we know that there's only a few places really in town you can go get your commercial lending. So we decided to bring it on ourselves. So bringing in commercial lending, again, no upfront costs, no additional junk fees, no any of that. All you're looking at doing is just your basic, your appraisals and your earnest monies and your inspections.
So why did you guys wait as Keystone Mortgage to start doing commercial lending just recently?
Truthfully, because our staff couldn't handle the extra volume.
Yeah, but now you guys are growing. So.
Yeah, now we've grown to the point now where we've got.
That's a good, honest answer too.
Well, it is.
You could have made something up, but that's a perfect answer.
Well, it is. But why would I take on more that we couldn't, successfully do? We're not going to overpromise and underdeliver.
Sure.
So, we've got specialists in our office that are designated to each individual one. We've got 4 loan officers. Angel is our commercial loan. Kirsty Bianco, she is our VA guru.
She's the expert. She's a specialist.
Oh yeah. She, we've always done VAs and we've done them very successfully, but her coming to us from Wells Fargo and all this, experience with just, specific VA programs. And there's not a question you can ask that woman. You're not going to stump her. And then we also have Montana Board of Housing, which is also Kirsty. We've got Belinda, who pretty much puts her hands in just about anything and figures it out and gets it handled. And Holly's fantastic with your first-time home buyers. There's, new couples, never purchased a home before, not knowing where they're doing. You want to sit down with Holly or even Belinda for that matter, and they will, they'll get your ducks in a row. If your credit's not quite to par, Holly Dickey, she's the queen on fixing your credit.
She'll find that. Again,
and for free.
Yeah, I go back to when we bought our first home, and it was... We didn't know where to start. We didn't have any avenues, and luckily it all worked out. But learning from you about Keystone Mortgage and what we could have had we known about it back then, our lives would have been so much easier.
Oh yeah, and I told my husband too. We've purchased 4 homes now, and we've used a bank once. Every other time we found a mortgage broker.
Yeah.
And mortgage brokers just seem to be a little bit, they're easier to deal with. Yeah. There's not so many restrictions when you go to a mortgage broker.
Well,
yeah. And,
local.
Right, but they don't get paid until they close your loan.
Sure, yep.
You go to a bank and they're getting paid regardless, so.
Good enough. A lot of people don't know that. Mm-hmm. We have a conversation about that, and maybe somebody just learned something. Mm-hmm. But that's a great, I think that's a great selling point, actually.
Well, yeah, and a mortgage broker, we cannot, legally, we are bound to we have to find you the best rate possible. We can't just say, okay, well, this guy's going to give you 3 1/4, but this one's going to give you 4, so I'm going to get paid more on the 4. I'm going to send you to the 4, because we get paid the same no matter what.
Oh, okay.
It is the same no matter what. We are, obligated and bound to find you the absolute best deal, because it doesn't do any different for us other than getting a return customer by treating you right.
I'm going to get a little personal here in a second, but first I want you to get out the Keystone Mortgage, all the contact details, Facebook, website, phone numbers again.
Phone number 248-7124. Facebook is Keystone Mortgage Company, and our website is www.keystonehomeloans.com.
You rattle that off like you do it every day.
I think I do.
All right, so, and this was not rehearsed, this part. Dustin fighting fires?
Dustin is fighting fires. He's a wildland firefighter.
Did he know Justin Beebe from Lolo? Hot Shots?
He did not know him.
Boy, that is just a sad story.
It is. He got caught by a snag, what that means is they were digging line because the fire itself wasn't completely out, and a tree fell on him.
That's just the hazards of firefighting, and I thought about you when I heard about that story, and Missoula is really stepping up for this guy. He's just been in the hearts of all of Montana. He's not... His whole life has not been in Montana, but he has made an impact in Montana fighting fires, and they're having a big celebration of life for him. His family's coming in from Vermont or Virginia or something like that. But
yeah, the Wildland Firefighters Foundation actually steps up pretty big on those kinds of situations. 3 years ago, we went through a huge loss with Granite Mountain Hot Shots. 7 of the men who died in that burnover were very good friends of my husband's and mine and our families. My father-in-law has got, almost 40 years in fire. He's Type 1 incident commander. Yeah. So Dustin's, grown up in fire, and, they were his buddies. They worked together. They grew up together in the industry and everything. And so it's, when something like that happens, it's pretty rough,
Yeah.
It's kind of, people don't realize that when those guys are out there fighting those fires, they're putting their lives on the line every day. These are not the firefighters that want to be in the newspaper.
Right.
They would rather just go hang
Do
out,
their job
do their
and-
deal,
yeah.
and scoot off to the side. And they don't want recognition. They don't want to
Yeah.
be. They have a big joke too. If you get caught in the newspaper or you get caught on the radio or television or something like that, you buy the crew beer or ice cream, depending on your age.
I lived in
So-
Bend, Oregon, and my morning show co-host, her husband was a firefighter.
Yeah.
They had the same rule.
Mhm.
Says if you get caught in media, TV, on radio,
Yep.
a picture of the newspaper, you owe us beer.
Yep.
Same
Beer, ice
thing.
cream. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not. It's kind of like I guess it's like their little fraternity brotherhood sort of rules,
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah, Dustin's fought fire all over the United States. He actually was in John Day, Oregon for a while.
Yeah.
He was over there, and he's now back in Arizona. Unfortunately, he's running the state program down there for in the Prescott area.
Just a dangerous career, but I when that story came out, I thought of you and some of the firefighters that I know, and people don't realize that you're
No.
not out there just with a hose and a shovel. I mean, it takes
No.
a lot of strength and stamina. And
No, well, the packs that they carry are 45 to 50
Yeah.
pound packs. So, and those stay on their backs 24/7. They cannot, dump them off anywhere. So they've got their 45, 50 pound pack, and then they've got their saw, or they've got their shovel, or they've got their Pulaski. It depends on what their tool is. People think that there's like a hierarchy in wildland fire, but there really isn't. I mean, whether you're a smoke jumper, a hot shot, on an engine, a hand crew, it does not matter. Those guys are all out there equally throwing it all out there. So,
well, I appreciate the personal dialogue here. I know I probably should have warned you about that, but
that's all right.
you did well speaking about it. I knew that.
I'm a seasoned fire wife. What can
Yeah,
I
I was
say?
gonna say. I bet you've heard it all.
Yeah, well, there was actually another accident. Was it yesterday or the day before, where another firefighter lost his life in California? Same situation, a tree, and then
The San Bernardino fire? That's a messy fire.
well, those get bad, and the thing is that people don't realize that grass fires just go. I mean, once a grass fire takes a hold of it, it's gone. They think, oh yeah, forest. Well, those big trees are on fire, and it's crazy and it's insane. And well, those ones actually burn slower than a grass fire.
Well, you're going to hear about all the stories. You just told me a story that I knew about the fire, but I didn't know about the incident.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I heard on the news that this is late yesterday afternoon, and I know the news has changed now on this fire, probably even a little bit worse because it's out of control. 80,000 people have been affected from structures being burned down, and I mean, Billings is 120,000, including the heights. That's the way when people have a news story that includes 40,000 people or 50,000. I'm thinking half of Billings.
Yeah.
80,000 people, San Bernardino County.
Well, and the problem is, California, well, the Southwest actually is really notorious for burning up, but California is so densely populated.
Sure. Yep.
And the one thing that I've always stressed to people, and it doesn't matter where you live, defensible space. You've got to create defensible
Right.
space. There, we had we actually used to do a show with Home Smart show. We had our own little radio show for a while, and we actually brought on the
You
BLM.
did?
We did for a
You
little
got
bit.
radio experience.
Well, no, I just did not get on the mic myself. It was Belinda who would get on the radio. But we brought the BLM in on it last year about this time, and we were talking about creating defensible space because, Montana, we don't get the fires that the Southwest does. So
Right.
when something comes up here and something affects us, it's a huge deal. And, people are just a little taken back by it. But in the Southwest, they're always losing homes. They're always, especially California, because of the population and how dry it is. And if you're not keeping your trees cut back away
Yeah,
from your
sure.
house,
That's
keeping
why that's why you do that.
your dead shrubs out and your grass, you don't want to have dry grass. Put rock down if you're not going to take care of your lawn,
When I was a kid, we lived up in the forest above Frenchtown, Montana, and my dad and mom and same rule. Every spring we'd clear away from the house.
Yep.
The defensible area you're talking about. It was just part of our chore.
Right.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't matter if you live in the city or you don't.
Right.
Because you never know.
Common sense.
Right. 'Cause
Yeah.
we live over by, we're over by Lake Elmo over there, and people are constantly popping off fireworks. Fortunately, we're closer to the golf course, so that's
Yeah.
not an issue for us. But was it 2 years ago, they had grass fires over there because people were lighting off fireworks when, you're not supposed to do that. But
God.
but those hoses back on that back up to, the lake, those could have been burned up. Just, defensible space is huge.
Yeah. You mentioned your radio show. That was Serena was over on AM 730.
Yeah.
With Scott.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that. I tuned in when I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some good information on that show,
Right.
actually.
So we decided to come this way instead.
Yeah, I know.
New venture.
We appreciate that. And get you in front of the microphone.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Angel wants me to be in front of the microphone now.
Well, you should. You do. You're articulate. You speak well of Keystone Mortgage. And Laura Shaka, appreciate your time this morning. Personal and professional.
Right.
All right, thank you.
I get my haircut. Our replay of segments on livinlargelarry.com on the show from Keystone Mortgage Company here in Billings, and purchase, refinance, investment properties, and a brand new place to call home for work. Keystone Mortgage downtown now, across from the pub station, 2442 First Avenue North. You can find them on Facebook. Type in the keyword Keystone. Keystone Mortgage Company. You aren't just a number, you're our number one priority. I think you'll love the changes at Keystone Mortgage.
Attend the Home Improvement Show September 9, 10, 11 at Metro Park, boasting $25,000 in prizes. Win a Kinco security system or All-Star custom rain gutters. It's the place you want to be, and it's free. So, where to?
going to be a warm week. Details coming up. LivinLargeLarry.com. Redline Computer Studios.
Livin Large Larry live from the Redline Computer Studios next to the Dollar Tree off of King Avenue West in Billings, Montana. This is Livin Large Larry live.
Back from the weekend. I suspect you had a pretty decent weekend. So welcome back to Monday, end of the month here, August, 29th of August. LivinLargeLarry.com. It's a broadcast from the Redline Computer Studios in West Billings off King and 29th West. And yes, mentioned a warm week. It is. It's like Indian summer, I guess. 85 to 95 the first part of the week. Might reach the century mark by Wednesday. And then 90s for the latter part of the week. The weekend shapes up to cool down to the 70s by Saturday and Sunday. A glance at news here in and around Billings and Montana. LivinLargeLarry.com. Thanks to Brian Bennett, our state news writer from the Northern News Network. Also, we source out KTVQ.com, Color8.com, and the Billings Gazette. The Montana Secretary of State's office announced last Thursday that Jill Stein of the Green Party and Rocky De La Fuente, the American Delta Party, have qualified for the 2016 general election ballot as presidential candidates. They'll join Gary Johnson of the Libertarian Party, GOP candidate Donald Trump, and Hillary Clinton for the Democratic Party in the November election for President of the United States. Verizon Wireless app challenge is back, and this year Montana middle school and high school students are being challenged to find the next problem-solving app. Winning teams will earn a $5,000 grant for their school's STEM program and free tablets for team members. The app challenge is open for submissions until November 18th. 2 women were found shot to death in their La Platte Street residence in Butte on Saturday afternoon. Police believe that the 2 women had made it an apparent suicide pact. Officers found a note with the adult victims that indicated the women had planned to die together. A weapon was also found at the scene in Butte over the weekend. And a 12-year-old girl's dead after she was thrown from a bed of a pickup truck late Saturday afternoon in Hardin. Montana Highway Dispatch. The patrol reported the pickup was headed south on Secondary Highway 313. The girl apparently was sitting on the bed of the pickup on a toolbox when a female driver swerved to the left for an unknown reason about 4:15 p.m. This happened on Saturday afternoon. The girl fell to the pavement on the right side of the pickup into the ditch. She was declared dead on scene. A mild earthquake shook an area in western Wyoming Saturday afternoon. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the 4.8 magnitude earthquake was centered about 5 miles east-northeast of Bondurant, Wyoming, and about 85 miles east-southeast of Rexburg, Idaho. The earthquake was recorded at a depth of about 6 miles. There have been no injuries reported or damage. Billings and area residents nearly fell over when they opened their water bill for June and July. Dozens reporting a significant spike in their charges for the month, and many were miffed as to why. The answer, well, the city really doesn't have one. Public Works Finance Manager Jennifer DeRay said she was unaware of the complaints popping up on social media. When it comes to charging for water, the city of Billings has what's called an inclining rate block structure. The city moved to the inclining rate block structure in 2008 with a shift in its structure. In 2014, the same year, City Council approved rate changes to residents in Billings. And a Billings man identified Sunday was involved in a fatal motorcycle crash near Roundup Saturday afternoon, according to MHP. The 60-year-old man was driving northbound on Highway 87. He was not wearing a helmet when he went off the road and crashed, according to MHP. The man was pronounced dead on scene. Investigation continues on that. Glance at news and more coming up. LivinLargeLarry.com, Redline Computer Studios in West Billings, across from Goodwill.
Attend the Home Improvement Show September 9, 10, 11 at Metro Park, boasting 450 exhibits. Win Moonlight's roofing package or Bryce's Master Clean package. It's the place you want to be, and it's free. So, where to?
How's your health? Is your mind open to different ways to be healthier? And to cryotherapy. You've heard us talk about cryotherapy since about mid-November. And N2 Cryotherapy has been in Billings since last July, and it's growing with athletes. If you are suffering from arthritis, give N2 Cryotherapy a try. Ask Cindy Graff about the pricing differences of N2 Cryotherapy. There's something to fit your budget. N2 Cryotherapy, 805 24th Street West, Suite number 4, Saturday hours as well. N2 Cryotherapy, n2cryo.com. What is going on around town? What's happening is courtesy of Bighorn Inspection, Petrochemical, and Refinery Inspection. Bighorn Inspection, bighorninspection.com. Still lots to do before fall hits as the Billings Kiwanis, they continue their movies in the park. Had one last Friday at Rose Park. September 9th is the next one. Ant-Man will show at Castle Rock Park. Through the Billings Kiwanis, movies in the park September 9th. And then the 16th of September, Wizard of Oz at Pioneer Park rounds out the movies in the park season for 2016. Slide the City is back. Skyway Boulevard and Alkali Creek Road on the 10th of September. 10th of September. A big giant water slide back. Slide the City for the third summer here in Billings. And the Center for Children and Families, Dream Beds for Kids 2016, coming up in October. Center Court Rimrock Mall, the 1st of October through the 8th. Check the beds out. See the ones you want. And then there's a raffle for that. Benefit the Center for Children and Families. That's coming up again in October. And the Home Improvement Show, 23rd Fall Home Improvement Show, is coming up September 9th, 10th, and 11th. Metro Parks Campus Home Improvement Show. Let's all go. What is going on around town? What's happening is courtesy of Bighorn Inspection, Petrochemical, and Refinery Inspection. Bighorn Inspection, bighorninspection.com.
Livin' Large Larry live from the Red Line Computer Studios next to the Dollar Tree off of King Avenue West in Billings, Montana. This is Livin' Large Larry live.
Third-year anniversary celebration for Carrie's Massage Business. 2-part body wraps at $70 the month of August, normally $95. That'd be good for any 2 body parts that you choose. So you could choose your hips and legs or arms and belly. You can even get your face massage. Yep. It'll help tighten your chin muscles so that little flap of skin that you tend to get will shrink up just a little bit. Carrie's Massage, 928 Broadwater, Suite number 204. And how about half-price reflexology massages for $15? Normally cost you $30. The reflexology is just hands and feet. Takes about 30 minutes. Includes a relaxing foot soak as well. Carrie's Massage, 3 years and going strong. 928 Broadwater, Suite number 204. So country singer Clay Walker was in Miles City at the Eastern Montana Fair over the weekend. On Friday he performed, Clay Walker did. And even though the concert has come and gone and expired, Nick from the KGHL radio morning show on Friday had a chance to visit with Clay Walker. We recorded it, and Clay Walker gets down and personal, even though the part of the interview, again, about him performing at the fair in Miles City has expired. There's some pretty insightful things. We'll replay that visit with Clay Walker, country singer, here on livinlargelarry.com. That's coming up.
Attend the Home Improvement Show September 9, 10, 11 at Metro Park, boasting $25,000 in prizes. Win a Linrich patio door, White's 95% efficient furnace. It's the place you want to be, and it's free. So, where to?
It seems everywhere you look, there's values, there's coupons for this, coupons for that. But if you want the true value, get Hometown Values. Get it? Well, it's mailed to your home. Thousands get the Hometown Values magazine, and it is the real size of a magazine. It's not the size of the palm of your hand. And look through it. Practical items, Hometown Values for each section of our area. Hometown Values, Billings and Laurel. It's probably on your counter right now, by the way, or your mailbox. Log on to myhometownvalues.com. I get my haircut every 6 weeks from Jim and Austin's Barber Shop in Billings Heights at 2225 Main Street in the Heights. The best $10 haircut you'll ever have. And Jim and Austin's Barber Shop, they're trained to be barbers. Basic haircut, $10,
10 minutes in and out. Jim and Austin's Barbershop, 2225 Main in the Billings Heights. And like them on Facebook, Jim and Austin's Barbershop in Billings Heights. Keystone Mortgage has moved to a much larger location. Keystone Mortgage is our underwriter for our replay of the show, our podcast. Keystone Mortgage, purchase, refinance, investment properties, second home, anything dealing with mortgages. You aren't just a number, you're our number one priority. And that slogan fits. Keystone Mortgage Company, Keystone Mortgage, KeystoneHomeLoans.com. They are locally owned and operated, and you can search them out on Facebook. Just type in the keyword, the Keystone.
Livin' Large Larry live from the Red Line Computer Studios next to the Dollar Tree off of King Avenue West in Billings, Montana. This is Livin' Large Larry live.
New restrictions to medical marijuana. I'm Livin' Large Larry. Organizers of a ballot initiative that aims to immediately reverse new restrictions to medical marijuana distribution in Montana may have inadvertently set their cause back by a half a year. The initiative seeks in part to lift a restriction. It goes into effect next week, limiting marijuana providers to a maximum of 3 registered patients. But the text of their initiative says the 3-patient limit would not be lifted until June 30th. A Montana man is accused of fatally shooting a 63-year-old construction worker at a job site near Sydney. Raymond Hansen of Sydney is facing a deliberate homicide charge in the death of Terry Klein. Hansen appeared in Richland County Justice Court Thursday, where Judge Gregory Moore set a $2 million bond for the 35-year-old defendant. A Pacific Northwest tribe is traveling nearly 5,000 miles across the U.S. and Canada with a 22-foot totem pole to galvanize opposition to the development of fossil fuel infrastructure, particularly around seaports in Oregon and Washington. The totem pole stops in Longview, Washington on Friday, where tribes oppose plans for a local export terminal that would be the largest in the U.S. The 19-day journey will end in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Yellowstone and Grand Teton National Parks are welcoming tourists for the 100th anniversary of the National Park Service, but a wildfire forced some people to drive a little farther to get to the festivities. The blaze in Grand Teton has closed a route leading to Yellowstone's south entrance, so some face an hour-long detour. With 4 other Yellowstone entrances open, visitors won't notice much is unusual inside the world's first national park, other than a smoky haze at the time. A trial is set for next March 13th in the case of Robert Lacoe. He faces 3 counts of deliberate homicide in the shooting deaths of his wife, her sister, and a brother-in-law in Belfry earlier in the year. The former chief executive officer of Vans, George Leslie Manlove, is asking for a federal judge in Missoula to delay his trial on more than 200 counts of conspiracy and fraud for another year. Manlove was charged last December with conspiring with Paul Lynn Nisbet to defraud the appliance and electronics company, which closed in 2013. 11 counties are now under drought alerts in Montana, and 9 counties are under a severe drought status. As the state is in the second year of a below-average snowpack, 7 counties have been added to the drought alert in the past month. In all, about 35% of the state is under drought alert or severe drought status. Mike Zufeltz, an MHP trooper from Helena, has pleaded guilty to a charge of careless driving after he struck a pedestrian with a patrol vehicle while on duty. The misdemeanor charge comes with a fine of $100. No disciplinary action has been taken. Sports notes: San Francisco's newly acquired southpaw Matt Moore lost his no-hit bid with 2 outs in the 9th inning last night when Corey Seager singled in the Giants' 4-0 win over the Dodgers. Moore would have become the first Giants pitcher to no-hit the Dodgers since 1915 when New York's Ruby Marquardt beat Brooklyn. Brazilian police have charged American swimmer Ryan Lochte with filing a false robbery report over an incident during the Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. The police statement said Lochte would be informed in the U.S. so he could decide whether to introduce a defense in Brazil. State and regional news and sports. I'm Livin' Large Larry.
Attend the Home Improvement Show September 9, 10, 11 at Metro Park, boasting 450 exhibits. Win a custom epoxy floor or Connor's double garage door. It's the place you want to be, and it's free. So, where to?
Livin' Large Larry Live from the Redline Computer Studios next to the Dollar Tree off of King Avenue West in Billings, Montana. This is Livin' Large Larry Live.
All kinds of blinds in Billings, allkindsofblindsmt.com for a variety of blinds, vertical blinds, the Roman shades, the mini blinds, and ask about repair as well. All kinds of blinds and window film for security, allkindsofblindsmt.com.
Attend the Home Improvement Show September 9, 10, 11 at Metro Park, boasting $25,000 in prizes. Win a Billings insulation package or a wall-mounted fireplace. It's the place you want to be, and it's free. So, where to?
Third year anniversary celebration for Carrie's Massage Business. 2-part body wraps at $70 the month of August, normally $95. That'd be good for any 2 body parts that you choose. So you could choose your hips and legs or arms and belly. You can even get your face massage. Yep. It'll help tighten your chin muscles so that little flap of skin that you tend to get will shrink up just a little bit. Carrie's Massage, 928 Broadwater, suite number 204. And how about half-price reflexology massages for $15? Normally cost you $30. The reflexology is just hands and feet. Takes about 30 minutes. Includes a relaxing foot soak as well. Carrie's Massage, 3 years and going strong. 928 Broadwater, suite number 204. A true coupon book, a coupon magazine, and it's actually the size that you can actually read through and see what's offered and see the prices. Practical couponing with Hometown Values Savings Magazine. And maybe you've seen it. It comes through the mail to your house. Don't toss it. There's the Hometown Values Magazine for each section of Billings and Laurel. Look for it. Hometown Values Savings Magazine. And the most recent issues have been mailed to you. Check them out. Give them a try. Hometown Values.
People here are very, authentic and very, very kind and gracious. Whenever I called the station, I got dropped a couple times on the phone with bad service to Shannon, who was, I guess, the receptionist there, answered, and she was so kind. So give her my thanks and gratitude.
I will definitely do so, Clay. Welcome back. You and I had a chance to speak. This was a number of years ago. If I remember right, we were reminiscing off the air. Were you just kind of traveling through and listening to the program, and did you hear one of your songs and just decided to call me up, and we just kind of did a quick impromptu interview?
Well, a very good friend of mine, Larry Wilson, who owned a ranch on the Sun River up by the Bob Marshall.
Okay.
Had come to, I flew into Billings, and we got in this truck, and your show was on, and you did play one of my songs, and so I called in, and it was a great interview, and you just, I appreciate that, and it's, looking over my career, the hits that folks like you have helped us have, that's why we're here tonight in Montana, because people still love those songs and still listen to them, and we have new music as well coming tonight, so I hope you're coming out. You'll get to hear the new album. We're going to do play 4 or 5 of the new songs we've been
all right
recording for the last couple of years, and so people get a chance to hear the music before it's actually released. And of course we'll do a lot of the hits, and if people want to hear a hit that they want to make sure gets in the show tonight, just get on Twitter or get on Facebook and let us know what you want to hear, and if we get enough requests for something, we'll certainly put it in the stats.
Sounds good, Clay. On my morning show every morning, I do something that's called the Country Crash Course, which is a different artist and a different song from a different era, usually every morning. And we go back. Well, I had you on for the second time about a month ago, but we'll go from Jimmy Rogers, through Bob Wills, through Waylon and Willie, and Kitty Wells, and all the classics, going back to the founding of country music.
Yeah, Jimmy Rogers from Meridian, Mississippi. He was my dad's favorite singer. Was he? So I know just about every Jimmy Rogers song, and most people my age, would not know who that is, but that kind of surprised me when you said that name. Very cool.
Very cool. And like I said, we had you on. I've done a kind of a bio on you a couple of times and played a couple of your songs into the archives. And I was going back. You kind of debuted, at least on the scene, in 1993, which is right around when I got into radio at about 18 years old. So your first album especially means a lot to me because I was just coming into country and into radio as you were starting to get played on the radio. And I think you and I both know what an influence that is. But, from Dreaming with My Eyes Wide Open to What's It to You, we used to spin White Castle because we always got a kick out of that song.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to ask you, though, I understand you've got an extra special meaning for you with the song Live Until I Die, which is a favorite of our audience, and we give that shuffle to spin quite often. If you just wanted to talk a little bit about that, kind of the how that's an extra special song for you, and I'm sure it is probably when you perform it and for the audience.
One of the things is probably I love to do that song live for a number of reasons. One is the fiddle intro, on the front of
yes.
it. It just identifies the song right off the bat, and two, I wrote that song by myself because it's an autobiography. Not bragging that I wrote it by myself.
Okay.
Just saying that it's an autobiography, and so I think it would give folks even more, meaning behind the song if they realized that where those lines came from. And I grew up living in the country on a ranch or a farm, I guess whatever you call it here. But
Vidor, Texas, right?
What's that?
Was it Vidor, Texas?
No, it was Beaumont.
Beaumont, okay.
I graduated from Vidor High School.
Okay.
My senior year, but I was born in Beaumont, Texas, and raised in Beaumont on a ranch that was passed in my family since the early 1800s, and still there.
Amazing.
And so the song was really filled full of memories that I had. I wrote it when I was 17, and so that was a very, I think for all especially guys, 17, 18, 19 years old, that's such a point in your life where you're really finding out that you're a man,
Okay.
And so I remember, each night I sing that song on stage, I remember the things that I grew up with. One of my favorite memories is picking blackberries from my grandmother, who would then make blackberry cobbler. So
Sure.
So there's a great memory there. It's like each time I get to a certain part of the song, I can almost smell it or taste it.
I understand. Oh, well, cool.
So she's gone now, so the song even means
Absolutely.
that much more. And I lost my dad 5 years ago at a very young age, and so I just there's certain emotions that go on with a stage performance, and to me it's not even the word performance is not I'm not having to try. When we're doing a show, I think one of the reasons why we've been able to stay in this business for as long as we've been here is because my band as well, they're very authentic people, and when we are doing what we do best, we're being very true to ourselves and very authentic. We're not playing music that we really don't want to be playing. We're playing songs that unfortunately we've had enough hits that we can pick through them and pick the ones that mean the most to us and play them, and hopefully that resonates with the audience. And I feel like we've done that. But Live Until I Die is certainly my favorite song to do every night.
That's
by
great.
far.
I'm glad I asked you about that. Clay Walker's my special guest tonight, Miles City, 8:30 Eastern Montana Fair at the fairgrounds. On the road, you're playing music. I understand you like to do some hunting. Tell me how you got involved with the Texas Trophy Hunters.
Well, we grew up, with on the ranch or that was passed in my family for years, and one of the things that I grew up, since I was a kid, I've been hunting. I think I got my first shotgun when I was 10.
Sure.
I got a 410, and
Yep.
and so we hunted and we ate everything that we killed, and that was a part of life for me. Somebody asked me something last night on the bus. One guy says, "What is the strangest thing you ever eaten that you killed?" And I said, "An armadillo."
Okay.
and they were like, "Are you kidding me?" No. So, in my family, it was, if you took life, if you killed something, you had to eat it. It was just that simple, and we did, and I don't I love the way I grew up, which led me into whitetail hunting. Where I grew up, we didn't have a lot of whitetail on the ranch where I was. But you could, drive, 10, 20 miles away, and you could find good places to hunt whitetail.
You bet.
That became my favorite, and then later on in life, as an adult, I really got into elk. I think that elk are the most majestic, beautiful,
hard to beat
creatures I've ever seen in my life, and now I bow hunt elk and whitetail, and that added even more of a joy, to it. And being able to host a hunting show has been right up my alley. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, don't worry about the armadillo. We eat our roadkill up here in Montana, Clay, so we might have one on you.
No problem.
All right, let's get a couple other things in here I wanted to ask you about. Of course, you were diagnosed with multiple sclerosis back in the 90s. I believe it might have been 1996. Especially for me, I just wanted to say thanks for the work that you've done. Multiple sclerosis runs in my family, and my grandma had it when she passed, and I have aunts that are dealing with it right now. But because of that, you decided to get up and fight against it, though, and you came up with Band Against MS, something that you founded. You've raised over $5 million, which is amazing over the last 20 years. Could you just talk a bit about that, Clay, if you would?
Well, and let me say this, I can empathize with you, growing up with people in your family who've had MS.
You bet.
For me, fortunately, I've been the only one that I know of that has been diagnosed with MS in my family, but I certainly feel like my grandmother had it. Looking back,
yes,
there were things that they could not diagnose for her, and one of them was dizziness and double vision, and that's exactly what happened to me when I was first diagnosed. And it was very scary, and it can be very scary to folks who have it. And for those of you who don't know what MS is, or multiple sclerosis, it's a disease that affects your neurological system, which could be anything from your balance to all your limbs and extremities, fingers tingling in your hands and feet, double vision, spasms, a lot of different signs for it, and it tends to be not isolated to, but more prevalent near the Rocky Mountains. You'll see a lot more of it as far as geographically in the U.S. or Northern America.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
And so it hit me in Calgary, Alberta. We were doing our last show for our winter run, and it was right around March, something like end of March, and it was just thank God it was the last show, because it really incapacitated me for about 8 weeks. I couldn't hold a guitar pick in my hands.
Oh man!
I couldn't feel anything in my fingers. My right leg was dragging. My face had a spasm. I had double vision and couldn't hardly walk or stand up because I couldn't have any balance. But shortly after that, my body recovered from what they called an attack of MS, and I got on a medication called Copaxone, and so that was about 18 years ago. I was diagnosed 20 years ago, and about 18 years ago, I got on this medication, and I have not had a relapse since I got on that medication. So the prognosis for me is very good.
Great.
I responded great to the medication, and not everybody responds like I did to that medication, but I was what you would call a high responder, and my doctor, and as well as me myself, believes that no relapses in 18 years. I've probably found what basically is a cure for me, meaning that it's not, the disease is not going to progress. So when people see me on stage tonight, they won't go, you won't notice that I have MS, and that's the beauty of where I am, and that's where I'd like to see everybody who has MS. So I started this foundation the charity called Band Against MS, and we're developing an app right now with the charity that's going to be free. It'll be a free download. But I'm wanting this app and striving for this app, and I know that it will be the foremost authority for apps for MS, and hopefully we'll have that done by the first quarter of next year, sometime our hope would be to release that in February or March.
All right.
And have, be the hub and center of everything, all things multiple sclerosis.
All right, it sounds good. Clay Walker is my guest. You've been very gracious with your time. I appreciate that. Just before we get to the show tonight, let's talk about. Give us a little bit about the new music, heading back into the studio. I know most artists like getting back in, getting the fellas together and the musicians and working out some of the new songs. Just maybe a song or two you'd like to talk about. You're going to highlight tonight.
Yeah, the first song that we're going to open up with tonight, which is the title of the new album and pretty much going to be the title of our entire tour for next year. It's called Long Live the Cowboy.
Cool.
And, I know folks in Montana will be able to relate to that.
You bet we can.
It's got some pretty cool video with it, and the song itself is very neat. It's a perfect, the new music is a perfect hybrid of the authenticity that I've had my entire career and meshing with some of the new production that you see.
That's Clay Walker, an interview that Nick Tyler had with him on last Friday before his Miles City concert. Clay Walker talking personal about multiple sclerosis and just his life. And if you went to the concerts at the Eastern Montana Fair over the weekend, hope you had a good time with Clay Walker. Just a down-to-earth gentleman. LivinLargeLarry.com. Redline Computer Studios, West Billings.
Livin' Large Larry live from the Redline Computer Studios next to the Dollar Tree off of King Avenue West in Billings, Montana. This is Livin' Large Larry live.
The Home Improvement Show September 9, 10, 11 at Metro Park, boasting 450 exhibits. Win a Honda generator from Ace or an elliptical from BFit. It's the place you want to be, and it's free. So, where to?
If you have not tried cryotherapy, then here in Billings you can now, since last July. Cindy Graff and her staff at N2 Cryotherapy, 805 24th Street West, Suite number 4. If you're an athlete or if you just work out, if you're elderly and have the aches and pains, try cryotherapy. If you log on to the website, you'll learn a lot about what cryotherapy is all about and how it can help you as well. N2 Cryotherapy in Billings, n2cryo.com. Trained Barber Haircuts, Jim and Austin's Barbershop, 2225 Main in the Heights, the best $10 haircut ever. Jim and Austin's Barbershop, the official barber for the Livin' Large Larry live show. Like him on Facebook, Jim and Austin's Barbershop up in Billings Heights. 2225 Main in the Heights, Jim and Austin's Barbershop. Proud supporters of the JCs. And happy birthday to the owner of Jim and Austin's Barbershop, Austin Schlosser. Happy birthday to Austin on the 29th of August.